Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for July 8th through 15th, 2024. Well, it's been a really intense last couple of weeks with our personal planets taking turns squaring up with the nodes of the moon and Chiron in Aries. Our personal planets transiting through Cancer brought us to that Cancer new moon on July 5th. Very powerful new start. All these squares with the Cancer, our planets in Cancer, saying we're coming up against a roadblock and you can't keep going the way we're going. And the shift and the change that needs to happen to go forward, north node of the moon, to leave the past behind, south node of the moon, has to do with our humanness. Nurturing, care, compassion. It's everything. Now, we had that new moon, and then on the 5th, and then the sun the sun was in square to the nodes of the moon for that new moon. This is telling us that we're halfway to the next eclipses that will happen in September and October. So we're kind of resituating ourselves. And with all these squares, it's saying, okay, what is this really about? What do we need to do to move forward? And so everything that has been associated with our old way is falling away. This is really intense energy as we feel like we're free, maybe floating in space, the unknown, everything we thought, not what we thought it was, the way we thought we were going to move, what we thought we were going to be doing. All of that it's just this feeling of kind of being suspended in space and also the free fall, like stepping off a cliff that you didn't even know you were at the edge of the cliff, bringing us to this energy of the Fool card and Tarot. We are in the period of time of this glorious demolition of all of the structures of our internal and external realities, with Pluto moving back into Capricorn. Pluto sits right now at 1 degree Aquarius and will be there until the 19th of July. On the 19th of July, we'll move to 0 degrees Aquarius and then to 29 degrees of Capricorn September 2nd through the November 20th. So this period of time is so important because we're unwinding, dismantling. And of course, if you're going to dismantle things, it's like you're going to go clean out the closet. It's all in the closet, right? But when you go to clean out the closet, you got to make the whole house messy in order to clean out the closet. And that's what we're doing. In order to heal the patterns, they must arise and show themselves to us. And that's what's going on. And wow. So let's talk this through because we're just feeling the sun come out of that square with the nodes. And now the sun is going to move into the square with Chiron. Venus just had this square with Chiron. So we had Mercury, Venus, the sun, square the nodes, and square Chiron. And we've got the last couple transits of this whole pattern. And so Venus squared up with Chiron on the 6th of July, and we're still going to feel that for the next couple of days. This is really intense. Our feminine in Cancer, examining the role of nurturing in moving forward, coming up against Chiron, the deep wounds of Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer, and in Aries, it's about life force, where we've given our power and our life force, our autonomy away. Pluto going back into the end degrees of Capricorn is a huge and powerful message and a line in the sand, a very definitive marker that for humanity to evolve, we must claim our sovereignty. We cannot go into the Aquarian age or move forward at all while we're loyal to lower forces. These energies, entities and beings that have been controlling humanity over many generations, thousands of years, they are not as high of origin dimensionally as supernova souls, as you are. So we gave away our loyalties to lower dimensional energies, right? And so the whole process we've been in is about taking it back. And that's what this Pluto going back into Capricorn, giving us an opportunity to recognize everywhere we've been giving our power away. You know, we didn't know. We didn't realize that the power of our consciousness, our ability and our higher intuitive gifts as visionaries, as co-creators, you know, as projectors, you know, we didn't know that that was hijacked through programming, control, censorship, propaganda, MK Ultra programming through TV, television of our whole culture. We didn't realize that they were hijacking our power of imagery in order to create their nightmare. We had to see it, right? Now we have to change it. And it's so powerful, this shift that we're in. So just keep that in mind, because it's so intense. And it just is these moments of like, I don't even know anything. And how do I even go forward? How to keep staying focused and keep doing the things that you do to live your life, to make money in this 3D reality, all the things that, you know, to live our life. It's like sometimes you just, it's that feeling, all of this Cancer planets and squares with the nodes and Chiron kind of bringing us to this feeling of a collapse, kind of that feeling of just coming into that puddle, that mess on the floor. But that is where we find the mother. You know, when we cry those tears, when we feel those feelings, and then that's when we can feel her there with us. Sometimes we have to go to that place. And so know that as much as everything's falling away in the structures that are no longer serving, something is there to catch us as well. And we cannot, mother can't, she's kind of this message of like, she can't catch us, can't catch you until you actually fall. Okay? It's hard to surrender after being so manipulated, supernovas. You know, so just be gentle with yourself. And this is kind of the deal. This week we've had a huge shift of energy because we had Saturn and Neptune turn retrograde. Saturn turned retrograde on the 30th of June. Neptune turned retrograde on July 2nd. So these two planets together, and we've had quite an interesting dance with these planets coming forward. We always have known about Saturn being the energy of the last planet you can visibly see. And so Saturn rules our physical reality and our manifested reality. The energies that absconded took over the Saturn energy, used the 3D structures to control us. Now, they couldn't control us without some lies and manipulation, and that's the Neptune. So Neptune wasn't completely taken over in the same way of Saturn, but Neptune came under the influence. And Neptune is now having a revolution as well. Neptune is at the very end of the zodiac and has been for months. The last sign, last degree of the whole story. Neptune is the story. Neptune is the dream and the delusions, the original dream. And now, so what happened in the Piscean age, because Neptune's the ruler of Pisces, and it seems that there's this energy in Pisces, there's this collective consciousness and this energy of spiritual feeling that comes with this connected feeling of spirituality, spiritual connection, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac before the rebirth into Aries. So it's like going back to the primordial soup, to the raw materials, to the void. And so it's kind of like nothing and everything. And so Neptune has come to represent our spiritual service in our birth chart, but also where we've been duped along the way. It's so similar to Saturn, but different, right? Because Neptune is like, it's through, Saturn is external control. We could call it like the overt narcissist, you know, and then Neptune we could call the covert narcissist because it's going to be veiled in confusion. So what happened, it seems like in the Piscean age, is they used that spiritual feeling of this oneness of consciousness in the Pisces energy, and then the Capricorn type faults, not Capricorn itself, but the control forces connected with Saturn took advantage of the Piscean age, of all the spiritual feeling, and said, oh, right? We can control the people through this. We can make them scared. We can disconnect them from source and make them think they have to come through us to get to God and charge them money, taxes, keep them as slaves. It'll all work out great. This is all falling apart. And part of the energy we've been feeling about this specific dismantling of those energies of the Piscean Age persecution has to do with this whole last month we've been feeling Black Moon Lilith opposite of Neptune. They're at that very end degree. And Black Moon Lilith is the deepest, darkest secrets, often having to do with the feminine and healing. So in Virgo, it was talking about all the lies of where the healers, the true spiritual light, was called evil in order to get rid of them so that the false spiritual light could keep control. So all these stories unraveling from the Piscean Age and where we were persecuted for simply being who we are, coming in the light, bringing the love, bringing the healing. And so we have got to heal this. And it's like subconscious within us. It's deep and subconscious, these past life things. And so that's why they have to be brought up to the surface. But guess what? Now, Black Moon Lilith on the 30th of June moved over into the sign of Libra. So if we're going to uncover the deep, dark secrets around creation energy and healing and the divine feminine in Libra, we're talking about relationships. And it's so intense because it means that Black Moon Lilith is going to be coming up with the south node of the moon in Libra. But also a very dynamic trine with Jupiter now in Gemini. So Black Moon Lilith, an air sign, is kind of lifting us up out of those stories and kind of like, how do we heal? How do we talk? How do we process? Now we heal, we talk, we process. This is the stage we're at. We've gone in the wilderness, we've gone to our isolation, and we still need that time to be in our presence. But it really is time to, with all of this air energy, to express what's within us, to share, to be heard, and to hear from each other as supernova souls. And so it's a massive activation. Black Moon Lilith is kind of saying, hey, what's been keeping you from expressing? Because air signs are like expressing the voice and, putting it out there. And so what has been keeping you from expressing what's inside of you? And we go right back to that persecution energy. But also for supernova souls, there's dark energies around relationships where we've been owned and controlled over lifetime. So we didn't even know. It's like a group, we've seen this picture of a group of souls, karmic souls, that follow you, have been with you through lifetimes, and it's probably family members, close other extended family, but their whole design karmically is to simply continually deny, and invalidate your path, your spiritual path, who you really are. Constantly distract, deny, invalidate, distract, deny, invalidate. Then if you get too far and you still working, then there will be abuse. It's like an ownership energy, like your creation energy, your gifts and skills is something to be commanded and controlled and owned by your family or by the people around you. And this is what supernova souls have experienced so often. And then we don't even realize, we think it's love, but it's actually control. And that we think the pain and the abuse is love. It's not. It's like we're very confused. We need relationship rehab. So Black Moon Lilith in Libra, South Node, it's coming. So expect big, powerful clarity around that at the end of August when Black Moon Lilith comes to the South Node, because that's when the contracts must be broken. The contracts that are not serving you of loyalties outside of yourself are going to be, boom, it's powerful. And we have, the astrology continues to be intense because also in August, we're going to be having Mars will catch up into that square with Saturn. Mars in Gemini and square to Saturn in Pisces, and that will be mid-August. And at the same time, Mars will be catching up to Jupiter. So Mars, Jupiter, square Saturn. Oh my goodness. the middle of August, and that black moon Lilith conjunct South Node at the end of August is saying, yeah, this is what it's about. Just no more. Strings cut. Snip, snip. Right? Wherever there's energies out there that are, you know, it this is so confusing for us, where it's like, seems like protection and love, but really it's standing in the way. Constantly standing in the way, never being able to support you and who you really are. This is the thing that supernova souls haven't had. Why we can't find each other. Because of the power and the potency of us coming together and supporting each other. Because supernova souls want to see each other thrive and shine and express, right? We've been dealing with this bullshit competitive energies. Like, you don't deserve to have that light. Remember, we persecuted you for that. That's bad. Hide it. Get it away, you know? And then your supernova tribe is like, oh, yeah, go girl, shine that, you know? So this is, oh gosh, the 180-degree turn. And I think that's what it's like. We've had this South Node Libra for this last almost a year, but we haven't really gotten the message of it. And that's what's going to be going on with Black Moon Lilith conjunct the South Node, the eclipses happening. There will be a partial solar eclipse in Libra in October, at the beginning of October, October 2nd, and that Black Moon Lilith trine Jupiter. And that will be releasing all of this to a whole new level, and that will be at the end of November. So a lot of dynamic stuff happening, and we'll be talking through this astrology. But let's look at right now next week, because what's going on is that Mars is in Taurus catching up to Uranus. And Mars is our action planet, our masculine planet, our let's go, our warrior. And the warrior is in Taurus, and that's talking about uncovering our gifts and our self-worth. And we've had this massive activation here, because remember in April, and we basically felt it, we had that eclipse, and then April and May, we had this whole, and into June, we had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and then all our personal planets going over that conjunction, activating. But guess what? Mars never made it. You know, and Mars now is finally catching up, having his turn. Now, this is when we really turn the motor on, because Uranus is representing all this stuff has happened. You know, Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 4 years, 5 years. And so we've got this whole bloom of this arc of energy. And then Jupiter came in last year. Boom, 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 finally caught up to Uranus. And now Mars is the last one to make this transit. And Mars is going over, coming up to Uranus on the 16th of July. We'll feel this from the 11th to the 20th. So coming right up in the next couple of days, 2 full weeks of Mars conjunct Uranus energy. Mars is really activating to the physical body. In Taurus represents the physical form. And Uranus, higher frequency vibration, like, so it's an activation of the physical form. Finally, it's coming. I mean, this is, we know we've been going through activation after activation energetically. The astrology is telling us, we can feel it. Our kundalini's awakening. We're coming back into the energy that's rightfully ours as our birthright, our source, hooking back up to our source, taking it back from where we've been giving it away. But this is a whole nother level of activation of these energies, of just like almost, you know, this Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius and represents then also the Aquarian Age. Aquarian Age is associated with technologies, the misuse of technologies, the appropriate use of technologies, our birthright for our own technologies that are in our very own body, right? You know, we're all waiting on free energy. We know that free energy exists. And now that's an interesting concept, because free energy is based on perpetual motion, which is a feminine form of electricity. So it's interesting that free energy was suppressed. And we know again and again, you can look at the whole rabbit hole of Tartaria and how we had advanced civilizations capturing static electricity out of the air and having free energy. And then reset after reset, where all of a sudden we don't have, our consciousness has been stripped. And this is, we're going to be finding this, the truth about our history. Oof, everything we've been told is a lie. And so we're looking at this unraveling of all these lies of where the technology has been stolen from us. And then we got this message over this last couple of years, supernovas, oh, we are the free energy. Like this picture, this message that in order for us all, the humanity and our evolution right now, to get back our energy, our free energy, the technologies available for all of us, um, it's like we got the message that supernova souls coming into our higher intuitive faculties is pushing the disclosure of advanced technologies. That something karmically, we have to own it and take it back and demonstrate the free energy in our very own field before we can get it back for humanity. What does that even mean? I don't know, but it's like, I mean, we know we have a light body, a Merkaba field that can, there's so much misinformation about this. You will really have to go with your own intuition. And the intuition that you want to find is the energy, this remembering everything that's happening right now. We've been learning and wanting to go to school and learn all these things and all these different topics. And supernova souls do have like all these different skills and workshops they've gone to and things they've learned, right? And we find out that the skills we really want to work with, we don't even know, because our most powerful skills and gifts have been hidden and repressed within us, through these systems. So the thing we want to work with the most in this lifetime is the most deeply hidden within us. And this is what Uranus and Taurus is speaking to, uncovering the hidden treasures. So there's a message coming through from the mother of like, it's all remembering, stop seeking. I mean, there's information and there's those validations, right? When you have those synchronicities and it's so cool and you come across this great information, but it's kind of a time to turn off that and tune in to what's awakening within us, our memory of these things. This is nothing, this is the main thing that supernova souls need to know, is that we've already worked with these advanced technologies in bodies in this earth evolution. So it's like, oh, we're taking this technology, like getting this free energy, but it's like, remember, we're taking it back. So that dispels all the programming around whether we can handle it or whether it's really ours or whether it's safe. It's like, no, 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 no. We're fully equipped. And you have all this within you, right? So now we're awakening. So this period of time right now, especially with this week, we've got some really dynamic Mercury transits here in the next couple of days. Mercury coming into a sextile with Jupiter and trine to the North Node. Mercury just moved over into the sign of Leo on July 3rd. So we'll talk about that, but it's time for some downloads and some energies of like this, like, whoa, this is supernova souls. The definition of supernova souls, that we've had previous experience as a soul before coming to this earth evolution, right? And part of that meant that we worked with higher technologies in our own body and externally. And we can look back to pretty much Atlantean time. That was when we had the most advanced technologies and when everything went wrong and the infiltration happened. That our technologies we were working with, so sacred, so beautiful, so in alignment, beautiful energies of the crystals and color and the biomimicry, the forms of nature, geometry, and on what we can learn and do and heal by understanding the research, cutting edge research. So fascinating. That's the thing about Atlantean time for supernova souls. If you look at those past lives, very interesting energy for supernova souls often comes forward of feeling like in this, probably the last time in this evolution you felt that way. I mean, we know they're really parallel lives, but if we are going to put it in order of our experience, it may be the last time on earth that you felt that you were at the right place at the right time, fully supported by society and the structures, government, in the work you're doing, with just the right team, everything you needed to do, this cutting edge work, waking up every morning so excited to get to work. It's a far cry from how we've been living, isn't it, supernova souls? So we've got to, of course, it's that 180-degree turn, turning the whole ship around. And so that means we've got to stand up and take back this power, this energy, this technology that is rightfully ours. It was misused. So the story we were told is that we caused those catastrophes because it was our technology, but we never used it out of alignment. It was a small group of nefarious beings. The sons of Belial, we're still trying to get our reins back of this world from them today. And so, in that whole story that played out of the sons of Belial, and the infiltration, what we've seen in these past life stories is that there was very deliberate setup, often with soulmate relationships, sexual energy that's like not allowed, available, and that's just not so it's like the taboo. This is interesting because we got the South Node Libra. We're looking at all these toxic relationship patterns, but what can bring us back together with our soul group and our soulmates? We have a whole group of very powerful, close souls we're close to, and we're trying to come back together. But is this the energy part of it? Of like we were told that our energy together in Atlantean time caused destruction. So we better not do that again, right? It's like, that's just total lie, because we didn't do it. We were never aligned with that. And the energy was used. And what's come through reading after reading in the past life readings I've done with Supernova Souls is that that was used as a directed energy weapon. It was used as a weapon. The energy was taken and made into a weapon and used deliberately to cause destruction against us and blame us. Done. Over. These stories are done, right? If we take back our energy, our technology, we turn our light body on, that story's over. Everything that's been keeping us from moving forward in our evolution has to do with the fear programming around our own power. So I would expect this to bloom and come up over this next week or 2 weeks, right? We're talking about Mars Uranus conjunction, and it's just like buzzing vibrational upgrade. Are you ready? Can you handle it? Can you take it? Just like wherever your body, your field, wherever the Kundalini rising has come up against programming, misinformation, implants, blockages, that say, oh no, you better not do that. You'll probably explode. You'll probably go crazy. You'll probably hurt people, or maybe you'll cause a catastrophe. Right. And so we're here at the threshold, just like, isn't it frustrating? Like how much of these contracts can you clear? How much programming can you clear? It's just like, and that's because we're just dancing right at the edge. And the Mars Uranus conjunction is everything we're talking about. Because Mars says, what's mine is mine. When we're uncovering our gifts, the wealth, the true wealth of this world, it ain't money and it ain't resources and physical, right? We have energy. We have love. We have leadership. We have power. We have our ability to create our own reality. Then you can create whatever you want. They just don't want us to know, And this is the threshold place that we've been dancing at for so long. So it's really intense. So just know that starting out here in the next couple of days, all the way to the 20th, we've got the sun will move over into Leo on the 23rd. So that'll be a big shift. And it's like activation, activation, activation. And sometimes you can't find the blocks to the activation until you start moving into the activation. You can't find the fear of your awakening until you move into your awakening and move into your power. And that's the dance we're going to be doing. So really intense. And maybe that goes along with this big shift of Saturn turning retrograde, Neptune turning retrograde. We're rethinking, we're reorganizing, we're working. We pushed as far as we can go. Neptune went to the last degree, the edge, the far edge of the desert, right? But not quite over into the new land. And so now we rehash, because it's not until 2026 that Neptune moves over into Aries for good. So this next year and a half is going to be this dance of releasing external control, coming back into co-creating the dream. So watch out for that. And we've got, so at the same time as Mars is with Uranus on the 16th exact, It's the same day, it's the same time, the 15th, 16th, that the sun will be coming into square with Chiron, the final square in that series, the series of the last 2 weeks of this intense squares, like challenge, challenge, pressure, pressure. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Get it together, you know? And so that's a really interesting energy because it's a convergence and it's confirming everything we're talking about. And so the sun in square to the nodes of the moon, north node in Aries, south node in Libra, and we're looking at this Cancer nurturing. The sun is who we are. So the nurturing side of ourselves, our mothering energy, the part that makes us human and compassionate and loving, coming up against the way forward, which is owning our sovereignty in Aries, the way that's what's holding us back, toxic relationships and contracts with beings that, you know, we shouldn't even be anywhere near. Apparently, these advanced, stories of these beings that are so-called advanced, but now we know they're not, these hybrid beings that have been controlling and genetically controlling and manipulating humanity. They're not as advanced from where we came from, right? But they are advanced to us here, and they've been manipulating with our DNA. And there's these supposed councils, but those of the highest order that don't have form, that just show up as a sphere or whatever, they're the most advanced beings. They will not go anywhere near the lower entities. Like, they will send an emissary. They won't even be in the same room. We've been stuck on the same planet for far too long. We are precious, beautiful lights, and we take it back now. This is the time we're at. And so when shit seems intense, just remind yourself of that. A free fall back into the mother's love, releasing whatever needs to fall away right now is like, whoa. At the same time, massive activation of your internal wealth, which you've been hiding and scared of, you know? And it's not easy. Like, here we are, we're still alone for the most part. We're starting to find each other, but it's really frightening to start turning your light on and not have anybody else around you that's on that path. But this is kind of where we've been, and we're navigating and negotiating, and it's all about, in Taurus, finding our permission for this wealth, the true wealth. And we're saying no more lies. Where's the substance? No more paper money with nothing to back it up. No more stealing and taxing us at every turn. It's ours. Give it back. What has been stolen must be returned. This is written. And that's where we're at. So how do we do it? And that's everything. So Mars is angry. Mars is the warrior, but in Taurus, it's kind of like a warrior for the earth. So the Uranus activation in Taurus is like bringing those higher frequency vibrations and embodying them into our body, right? We're realizing spiritual ascension is like, oh, it's landing, it's coming home, it's getting real, it's awakening all the places that have been asleep and traumatized and having to feel it all again. So emotional, this Cancer energy. But we're also knowing that these the nodes in cardinal signs and all these planets in Cancer signs squaring up, the cardinal signs are a new beginning. They're the starters, so it's like, boom, we're like pushing at the gate, knocking it down. And maybe it's the pushing at the gate that allows us to feel worthy. Now, you can push at the gate all day long if it's just you, but you're never going to push that gate down. And that's kind of the picture we're getting. If we come together, we can push the gate down. And this is the next stage of the process, with all of this air energy, the new renaissance coming into collaboration and expression. When you work together and collaborate with your gifts, you feel much more worthy for the blessings that come. And then we can knock down the gate and know that we can handle it out there as sovereign beings. So be open to the downloads that want to come over these next couple of days, because we've got today and tomorrow, we've got Mercury in sextile to Jupiter. Mercury is now in Leo and sextile. Now Mercury's taking a retrograde in Leo, and we'll go into retrograde shadow on the 17th. So if there's anything, a lot of you want to complete, organize, figure out, plan, all that, try to do this in the next couple of weeks here before the Mercury retrograde cycle. Mercury will come back out, will turn direct on August 29th, the same at the very time as that Black Moon Lilith South Node. Wow. And then come out of retrograde shadow not until September 12th. So this is our little, like we've got, oh, zhejiang. We just had Saturn, Neptune, retrograde. Boom. You know? And we are, so it's like kind of kicking back a gear, but at the same time, a massive and powerful activation and downloads coming as well with Mercury. But the Mercury retrograde is also bringing the energy of like, okay, wait a minute, we got to rehash. And the Mercury retrograde will be in Leo and Virgo. And so the end of Leo, 21 degrees Leo, and to 4 degrees Virgo. So the cusp into the mutable signs really getting activated and empowered through the season. But it's that rehash, just like, wait a minute. And it's actually going back to last year at this time when Venus went retrograde in Leo. So Mercury is kind of going, whoa, what's this about? We're learning. And so Mercury wants to give us some messages, and especially these next couple of days, as Mercury now in Leo, in sextile to Jupiter in Gemini, and bringing forward, because Leo is expression, of our light and our talents and our skills. And then the Gemini is the vibrational support, the mode, the medium, the writing, the message, so it's all about bringing forward our light and our expression. And so that's a really sweet over the next couple of days through the 11th. We'll feel that Mercury sextile Jupiter. And then Mercury will also be trining up with the North Node. And so that will happen on the 9th and also last through the 11th. So Mercury in Leo trine the North Node in Aries. And so Mercury is the messenger, and it's our conceptual reality. And these Mercury transits are kind of, might be over the next few days, just there's an opportunity for some downloads and understanding, because remember, where Mercury took that retrograde in Aries, now in just had the squares in Cancer. And so now having these positive relationship with the North Node, that means sextile the South Node, sextile Jupiter. And so it's very dynamic, it's quick, but you could really have some great realizations about what this whole year's been about. And that's kind of this retrograde cycle and what we're going into now for pretty much the rest of the year, but we're like, okay, we pushed as far as we can go, right? Like maybe we did push the gate down, but we're scared to go out of it, and we're still playing in the old playground while we get ready to move into the new, because it feels like there's nothing out there. It's just blank space. And that's because you only have one little piece of the puzzle. You're a beautiful petal of her lotus, of the dream that we've been dreaming, right? It's a new dream, but it's the original dream. And we have this, and our personal dream is also her original dream. And it's so beautiful to come back into this co-creation. That's what everything is about. It's like, oh yeah, no, we're in charge of our reality. We're going to co-create. We're going to take back this power. And it's our world now, the mother's world. And that Venus square Chiron that just happened really had that energy of like that pushing, that break of like, no, it's, the mother's world now, and we got to rehash this and clean it up and get it all sorted out. But we really have come to this point where we're taking our energy and our power back. But then we've got Pluto going back into Capricorn, and this retrograde cycles that'll bring us all the way into next spring or into the early months of 2025. And then that's when we're really going to kind of move forward. And so we continue to be in this time of preparation, of gestation, of in the new birth, of are you in the birth canal? Have you been reborn and now you just need extra care as an infant? The earth has been reborn. We got this message that Cancer new moon so powerful, and we are being reborn along with her. So really great energies there. The Capricorn, there's 2 Capricorn full moons is powerful with Pluto going back into Capricorn, because this year we've got 2 Capricorn full moons, and the second Capricorn full moon will be on Sunday, July 21st. And that Capricorn full moon will happen at 29 degrees Capricorn, an exact sextile to Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces. And so it's like, oh, Capricorn can be so serious and it can be so like, hard work and facing reality. But this sextile says, oh, no, 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 we're reworking reality, because it's triggering the sextile with Pluto. So Pluto will be at, um, on July 21st, will be at 0 degrees, 0 degrees Aquarius. So we'll have the full moon conjunct Pluto, sextile Neptune, saying, oh, yeah, it's intense and it's all breaking down, you know, but there's a new dream coming to catch us, and it's us, the seeds we've planted. See, we've been dreaming this original dream the whole time. We planted all these seeds at these other times that we've come together. I mean, think about that. We haven't ever had that feeling we had in Atlantean time of being at the right place at the right time with just the right team, doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing with all the support. That's got to be returned to us. We could start there with what was stolen. Our technologies, our soulmate relationships, our power, our world, our reality. So taking back our world really means we got to undo that. And Mars conjunct Uranus is saying, let's do it. Enough is enough. We're taking it back now. And what that looks like, and that you can do this as you come up against these strange little bloomings of these dark parasitic forces, take a moment to stop. The message from the mother is like, you, when you connect with me, we're more powerful together. I'm more powerful. The dream's more powerful. And you can have this prayer that can be really helpful for your body, for what's going on around you, for whatever you're encountering, that like the mother claims her rightful territory, her rightful dominion over this place, over this territory. Your body, our bodies, her body, all must come into alignment. You can bring yourself back into health. Bring yourself back from the edge of an emotion. You can bring the people around, the energies around you into alignment. You can call in the legions of light to go figure out how that distortion is still existing as we're claiming back. It's like we've got these strongholds of a new reality, kind of looks like it's a new reality is being kind of held down like a hot air balloon, and it's on the earth being like, yeah, okay, we're holding it down here, holding it down here. Maybe that's supernova souls at these very special locations doing your incredible work that you've been doing. Thank you so much. um, and then at some point, that new reality doesn't need to be so anchored in so much effort and so much energy. It can just, float and be, and we can, that's her message really. It's like after these squares and the dynamic transits coming up, there's this kind of invitation. Why not? Can we just step into the dream? It's like not right here. It's a big step. It could be a big leap. It could be a big scary leap, but we're starting to feel more and more the realness of this. Like maybe there's something to this. It's real and it's bigger than you can imagine. And that's again one of the great messages from the mother that's been coming through. It just doesn't look like you thought it was going to look, but it's more amazing than you can imagine. That's the free fall. Whew. So it's intense, and thank you so much for your support and being a part of the Supernova Soul Tribe. There's more information about that in the information box below. Go get that Cancer new moon activation from last week if you need a clearing around responsibility to other souls and the clearing with the false light that had led us astray. We found ourselves in that activation in between these, where we felt responsible for people we loved, and we felt bad that we couldn't keep them from being led astray by the false religious control in the Piscean Age. So if those contracts resonate with you, it was very powerful. Go back and get that Cancer new moon activation. It's always live, live or on the replay. The energy is there encoded for you. So please check out these resources, and thank you so much for being with us. The greatest support, there's also a donation link if you'd like to support that way. The greatest support, though, is just being here, listening, being present with these teachings, with these energies, and saying yes. to the dream, your truth, your expression, her dream. It's not rocket science. It's actually just common sense. So thank you so much for being here, going through all you've gone through, Supernova Soul. I look forward to connecting soon, and I'm happy to announce a live workshop, an art and spirituality workshop. It's called Awakening the Creative Fire Within. This workshop is going to happen October 26th and 27th in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with our Supernova Soul friend, Lauren, who's been with us. A beautiful experience of bringing together the intuitive visualization of guided meditation, chakras and colors, group soul group session, a group intuitive session to find the imageries and connect with our intuitive pictures and knowing, and then work with that in the medium of painting at her live in her studio in Santa Fe at the end of October. So keep that in mind, Supernova Souls. There is limited seating for this, but look out for more Supernova events coming soon. Thank you so much for being here. Keep in mind the Capricorn full moon activation number 2, which will be on Saturday, July 20th, leading up to that new moon on July 21st. So thank you so much for being here, your support, your energy, your being present, saying yes to the dream. You know, we've been just dogged for this. You know, we've been criticized, we've been made fun of, we've been attacked, we've been killed. And it's like, it's just a beautiful, precious, innocent dream. And why are we having this hesitancy at this moment, right? We're like, for us, this is all, what is the hesitancy? Why are we, because the energies are trying to the frequencies and vibrations of the programming right now is about insecurity and doubt, you know, so it's making you doubt yourself, doubt your path, doubt everything, and it's part of everything falling away. But remember the remembering of who you really are and what's inside, and come back to this gives us great confidence when we're with the mother and we know exactly what we're doing. We don't have to figure it out. We already created. That's what she says. There's no need to create it. You don't have to build it or figure it out. We already did it. We planted the seeds and now they bloom. As we move into this very strange back and forth, what I'm seeing is a parallel realities, you know, of these different timelines. They're just right next to each other right now. And so it's like blip over here, blip over here, blip over here. What do you need to do to stabilize in that place that is more appropriate to you, where the people care about you and love you and want to see you shine and express, you know, where they want to validate and live the dream rather than making fun of it and doubt it. You know, it was us holding this torch all of these lifetimes that makes this possible. You never gave up, no matter what you went through. Thank you so much for being here, Supernova Souls, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.